This is the first edition for 2022. For those of you who have been at ACC, you'll have experienced these before. For those people who would like to greet right now, our new families, this will be your first edition of the Weekly Wrap. And we're hoping in this edition that you'll find out a whole bunch of information about what's happening in your children's classes. Each of the teachers have spent some time to put together a video which you can watch and get information about not only the teacher but what is going to be presented. But before we do all that, I would love to read to you from Matthew 6:19 to 21, and that says this: "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moth and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." I wanted to read that to you because this term at ACC we have a kingdom building focus. We are really looking at building attitudes into our own lives, but also to the lives of our students that are eternal, that are bigger than us. And we are really interested in promoting God's kingdom here on earth and in our college. So that's our focus, and I think that's a fantastic way to start. All right, as I said, this is because of COVID. We are doing this format, our welcome in the form of a presentation online. But normally we would sit together at a barbecue, have some sausages and a meal together and share face to face. So this is a great opportunity for you to go and grab yourself a nice snack, a coffee or a hot chocolate, put yourself in your most favourite comfy chair, sit back and relax. Maybe this will end up being a better way for you to learn about the classes. As I said, each teacher will present for their class, and in just a moment on the screen you'll see a list of when each of the classes are going to present, each of the teachers from each of the classes, with a timestamp. So you feel free to jump in to the classes that are most relevant to you and the classes that your children are in. And then at the end, I will give you some information about what's happening this term at the college. All right, without further ado, I'll let you flip on through to the most relevant pieces of information for you and your children.
My name is Jen Miller. The students call me Miss Miller, and I'm the kindergarten teacher at Australian Christian College, Hobart this year. I'm a music teacher by trade, so the days that I'm not teaching kindergarten, I am teaching piano, and I also help out at the music team at church. I've put together this slideshow and video so that you can have a look at our classroom, learn about what we're going to do this term, and yeah, I hope you really enjoy it. Thank you. I hope you really enjoyed the video. I'm really looking forward to getting to know your kids more and teach them the letters and numbers and teach them to get along really well with each other this year. Thank you so much.
Welcome, parents. Let's have a look what junior primary is doing. Hello, parents! Today, parents, we're doing some math. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now here's Miss S.
Hello and welcome to Junior Primary Introductory video. My name is Anastasia Sujana. I am the Junior Primary teacher for ACC Hobart this year. We have Mrs. Kathy Picton as teacher aide this year. She comes in for about an hour in the morning for our literacy block. She'll be helping the students work with some of their literacy program. A little bit about myself, my background and my belief. So I graduated with Masters of Teaching. I did an early childhood and primary master's degree. And after that, I started off as a pre-kinder teacher and then moving on to a kinder teacher. And after finally moving on to the primary classroom setting, which is the junior primary teacher. That is my background. Early childhood education has always been my background, and that's something that I'm really passionate about. And that's the age group that I really enjoy teaching. I think that a good early childhood education should involve play and fun. In my classroom, we do lots of dancing, lots of singing, lots of craft, lots of fun things. And I believe through all that as well, through all the fun stuff that we do, that caters to different kinds of learners in my classroom. I believe in multimodal teaching, so there are different ways students learn. There are kinesthetic learners, visual learners, auditory learners, reading and writing learners. I want to cater for all those needs through different mediums of learning. Their schedule. Every morning starts with literacy and then recess, math, lunch, and reading time, and after that it's either Bible, science, and on Friday they get to free play Friday on Friday, and then just on Tuesday they have physical education in the middle block and art on Thursday in the first block and Chinese on Thursday in the afternoon. My expectations. Every morning they should come to school well rested and not tired and ready to learn. It's important they get enough sleep the night before. And secondly, they should be able to have enough food throughout the day, and it should be healthy foods as well. Belongings should be labeled. We don't want to get mixed up. We don't want their things to get mixed up with the other students, and they're responsible for their own belongings. Fourth, I need their iPads charged and brought in every day with their headphones. We use that in our learning program, and it's important that they bring it so they don't miss out. Fourth, I expect them to come into classroom with neat and complete uniform. For boys, their shirt need to be tucked in, and their blazers and ties, and just come in a full uniform that's tidy and neat. And for girls, I reckon their hairs should not cover their eyes, cover their face. It shouldn't be distracting their learning. So just come in with a neat hairstyle. Yeah. And hats are to be worn for outdoor play. during term 1 and 4. If they don't have hats, the rules require them to stay under the shade, so that's just such a shame for them to miss out on play. Next is Circle of Courage. These are the 4 things that we implement in the school and in the classroom as a behavior expectation. First thing first is belonging. They need to be able to feel they belong for them to learn and just be a part of the school community. And they're also taught to extend that sense of belonging to others as well. They are taught to be inclusive and love others. And secondly, mastery. This is where I expect them to be independent, to take ownership of their learning, to give their best, and to be resilient when they might struggle in their learning. And thirdly, independence. I encourage them to do everything themselves, even though they're little. Things like packing up their bags, looking after their belongings, and doing their works. They should be trying to do it on their own, and they are welcome to ask for help if they really can't do it. And fourth, generosity. This is really important. We want to instill spirit of generosity, spirit of loving others, and just giving back to the community. And that way, that also help them feel like they belong as well. At home, I don't really give out homeworks for this age group, but it is highly recommended for them to read daily for 15 minutes at least. And then they can read out loud to adult. And these are if they are already able to read, my year 1 and 2s. So if they are in preps, it's important they get to expose themselves to lots of readings. You can listen to you reading, or to the app Whooshkaa that we use at school, or you can go online to YouTube for Storyline Online or other storybook reading. I believe there are heaps of that. For my learning program, first things Bible and Christian living. For this term, we are going to explore who God is and learning about Jesus's parables and learning all of these values and how can we apply that in our everyday life. Next thing, literacy program. These are all the things that we are going to work throughout the whole year. We are going to focus on building a really strong literacy foundation, and each term they are going to focus on different text type. This term they're going to produce a recount text, next term narrative, and then the next information report, and the following term procedure text. And for numeracy, these are all the things that we are working throughout the year as well. This is what we are aiming for to know by the end of the year. Some of these stuffs are for HAS. This term we're going to focus on geography, and then we're going to focus on history the following term. This term for geography, we are exploring the connection of place and learning about Australia, its location in relation to the world. We are going to learn about the continents and the oceans and learning how to use a map. Yeah. And for science, this term is biological sciences. Biological sciences for this term focus on living things and the things that they need and how do they grow and change, and focusing on the science skills listed here. So that's all the learning programs that's going to happen in JPs. If you'd like to reach me to talk about anything, please don't hesitate to do so. You can reach me through email, anastasiasujan@acc.edu.au, or you can phone the office. Thank you for listening. I'm looking forward to partnering with you and supporting the students and looking forward for a great year.
Welcome to Middle Primary Classroom. Let me show you in.
Can everyone say good afternoon?
Good afternoon, parents. And right now we are organising numbers from 0 to 10,000. And look at the artwork that we've done. Now, are you ready to hear from our teacher?
Hello everyone, my name is Miss Chikonyora and welcome to Middle Primary. I'm the Middle Primary teacher for this year, and helping us we've got Mrs. Butler who will be helping us in literacy, and we've got Mrs. Pigden who will be helping us in maths. Our vision for our students is to build a biblical foundation in the life of every student. We're praying that each student has a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, and we're helping each student to succeed in whatever God wants them to do. Our middle primary expectations are that we expect every student to show up to school ready to learn and prepared to do their best, the best that they can do. And our homework expectations as well, we'll be giving out homework on Mondays, and this is to be returned on or before Fridays. Reading homework will also be allocated on Wooshka and My Own, and some students, you'll notice that some students will come home with home readers as well, and this is to be completed during the week or the weekend. We've got PE on Tuesdays, so students will be expected to wear their sports uniform on Tuesdays. We don't have morning sports yet because of the whole COVID situation, but if anything changes and students are expected to wear their sports uniforms on any other day except for Tuesdays, we'll definitely let you know. We'll also be conducting some testing in week 3 and week 4. So we're starting with Star Reader and Star Maths in week 3, which is this week. And next week we'll be doing DBELS, part testing, and we'll be doing the essay spelling test as well. The topics that we're going to be covering this term: in English, we're covering narrative writing. In maths, we're covering place value and money. In science, we're doing earth and space sciences, and our unit is called Beneath Our Feet. And then in HAS, we're looking at the location of major countries in Africa and South America in relation to Australia. So this pretty much covers what we're going to be covering this term. And I would also like to talk about the COVID situation. So our students were given the red tests to take home. So if they end up using them and if they run out, they can always get another one. We just need a parent note to go along with that. But if there's if anything changes, we'll definitely let you know. And if there's anything that you need to communicate with me about how we can better support our students, just send me an email or you can give me a call. Thank you. Bye.
Welcome, parents.
We would like to show you what's going on in the upper primary. Hi, parents!
We are working on our screen print designs, and later through the term we will be printing them onto t-shirts.
Now I'd like to hand you over to our teachers.
Hi, and welcome to the grade 5-6 class, the upper primary class. My name is Anita Tilliard. I am teaching your wonderful students, or your beautiful children, on Wednesday afternoons, Thursdays and Fridays. And we have...
I'm Teresa Kimber, and I'm in here from Monday morning through to all that recess time on Wednesday.
So this short presentation is to give you some ideas about the class expectations and organisations for this year that both Teresa and I have established or are establishing. So I'm going to hand it over to Mrs. Kimber to start with.
Cool, thank you, Ms. Tilliard. All right, so in our getting started, we've already got our guys with their workbooks and folders labelled, already housed here, which is wonderful. So thank you so much for purchasing those for us. The guys all have their own personal pencil cases, so there's no sharing of any kind of stationery because of COVID. They probably will need to be replenished throughout the year. We do ask that the students come with their iPad or laptop fully charged for the day. It causes a lot of disruption if that's not happening. And of course, part of getting organised is also spending a bit of time with students, learning some new routines and embedding those expectations for working well together. You may be asking about homework. Homework did go home on Monday. This year goes home on Monday, comes back on Friday, and it really just does cover those fundamentals of some daily reading on MyOn, practicing their spelling, ready for Friday's spelling test, continuing to learn their times tables both in order, out of order, and also the inverse relationship with division. We're asking the students to just keep an eye on how they're going with their modules in Math Pathways throughout the fortnight, because they do need to have covered 6 before they do their test. And other than that, it may just be any work that they might not have completed. Occasionally I choose to flip the classroom a little bit, and I may send some visual materials home via email that I'd like the children to watch before they come to school, but I'll certainly indicate that to the children well ahead of time.
Just on the reading, we do DEAR, so drop everything and read just after lunch each day. We try to ensure that the students get 15 minutes of DEAR. Research shows that students who read for half an hour will actually have a greater amount of growth. So if we are concentrated giving 15, they really should be reading 10 to 15 minutes at home per weekday for them to show growth.
Thank you, Steve. Okay. Some of our apps or sites that we're using regularly that the children will need to have on their iPad or computer is Renaissance. They've all got access to that through their Canvas course. MyOn, which is our new program for reading, particularly for the grade 5s who've just come up. So we've relinquished Whooshkaa and we're on to MyOn. We do have a Soundwaves subscription, so there's opportunity there for the children to practice with some games and things on that particular site. And of course, Math Pathways. For those students who've been with me for quite some time, and for those parents as well, you know that I do a lot of collaborative learning and I like to use study buddies. We are continuing to do that with the children regularly being paired up with different people and having the opportunity to support one another and create new relationships and friendships. So that's something that we really enjoy, and we've already started that. As you can see, we've got some pictures up here of all your children having a good old time in different settings, doing different things. Our timetable, we will send you home a paper copy of the timetable for this term. Please note that it can change occasionally from time to time. So the curriculum has been split up since we have a couple of teachers coming in here between Miss Tilliard, myself and Mr. Noble. So when the students have me, I predominantly cover math and English with them, HASS and some health this year as well, which is really exciting. Mr. Noble will be taking the students for PE, and
I'll be looking at guided reading, art, design technologies and science. But I think we're talking about that a little bit later, so we'll keep going.
Keep going. And Mr. Jin's coming in and working with the children to do some Chinese, so that's really exciting. Topics for term 1. With me, the children will be focusing on predominantly a novel study this term, and we have embedded their writing and some HASS in that, along with some geography and some history opportunities as well. For maths, we'll continue to focus on fluency and fundamentals and charging our way through Math Pathways. It'll be exciting to see these guys setting some personal goals around that and seeing how they go. And then in science,
So for term 1, we're looking at volcanoes, and then if we have some time, we'll look at earthquakes as well. It's all about how the earth changes pretty much, and the impacts that volcanoes have on people and earthquakes have on people. So we'll be looking about what volcanoes are and the impacts around the world.
communication. Parents, we would love to hear from you. The more you can tell us about your amazing child, the better. Gives us an opportunity to forge connections quicker and get to know them more. We really ask that you take the opportunity through email, through giving us a ring. If you'd like to see us at this point in time with COVID, it would probably be more than likely over online or after school when we have fewer people here. And you'd organise that through our front office just by ringing Jess. Today, the students and I took some time to unpack how they learn best, and we created the Upper Primary Code of Conduct. So I'm hoping that the students will have a chat with you tonight about that. They took great lengths to make sure that how they learn and how they prefer to learn was reflected in the code that they have all agreed to follow. So it's pretty basic stuff. We show respect towards our teachers and peers, and we stay on task and try to engage in the lesson, try to listen intently, work studiously and be efficient, try and be as organised as possible and follow those routines, be really encouraging of one another and help each other to feel that they belong, and of course just consider being safe within the classroom. So you'll get a copy of those when you get a copy of the notes. And that's all we have.
Yeah, so just summing all that up, Teresa and I are both working with the class. Monday to Wednesday, Teresa is looking at English and maths, and she's looking at predominantly HASS. Those are the three predominant, the major subjects. Whereas when it comes to Wednesday, I'll be looking at English, maths, so looking at their guided reading, looking at their maths timetables, math pathways, and also be concentrating on my major focus is science, but also art. So Friday afternoons will be an art afternoon. This term we're looking at screen printing, so we'll do some screen printing onto paper, and then later in the term when they know what they're doing, we'll screen print onto some fabric. So whether the kids bring in a t-shirt, a pillowcase, or any piece of fabric at all. I'm really excited. They're a really beautiful group of children. I'm excited to work with them and to see their growth throughout this year. Yeah.
They sure are. In just the 2.5 weeks I've had, because I wasn't here on the first week since you started on the Thursday, it's been wonderful to see kids reconnect when they've been in different classes, and it's also been brilliant to see our the new guys just come on in and feel really at home and enjoying coming to school every day. And I've really enjoyed those conversations of getting to know, reacquaint with some, and getting to know all our new students. So guys, we really thank you so much for all that you do. Your role is amazingly important in the education of your children, because they are actually with you a lot more than they are with us. So we're just so thankful that we get this opportunity to work with your children, to witness to them, to share God's word with them, and to just spend a major part of their week. It's such a privilege.
Yeah. I suppose the only thing I want to say is, can you please make sure they go to bed on time, that they don't go to bed with a device, that they have some good food in their lunch boxes, and that they are drinking heaps, because all of those impact on us the following day and impacts on their learning, and ultimately they are here to learn. So once again, thank you from the grade 5-6 teachers, and we look forward to working with you throughout this year.
See you soon.
Hello, welcome to junior high. I'd like to show you in.
Everyone please say good afternoon to our parents.
Good afternoon, parents.
Alright, so we're doing a science lesson here. The Year 7s are learning how to light the Bunsen burners.
Now get ready to hear from our teachers.
Good afternoon, my name is Esther Connell,
and I am teaching high school maths and science this year. In science, the Year 7s and 8s have been looking at lab safety, and the Year 7s to 9s have been looking at how to carry out a scientific investigation. The Year 9s have also looked at the ethics in science. The rest of this term will be on biology, with the Year 7s looking at classification, the Year 8s will be studying cells and microscopes, the Year 9s ecosystems, and the Year 10s will be studying genetics and climate patterns. In maths, we are continuing with the Maths Pathway program, as well as looking to extend students' mathematical thinking with puzzles and hands-on activities. I'm also teaching extended maths this year, which will help prepare students for Year 11 and 12 maths. This looks at topics beyond the Year 10 level, as well as several directed investigations.
Hi, welcome to my introductory video. My name is Mrs. Kathy Smith, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what I'm teaching in the high school at Australian Christian College Hobart this year, and also a little bit about Canvas, the portal that your children will be using to access their school subjects. So firstly, I'm working with the grade 9-10 class and the grade 7-8 class. So for the grade 7-8 class, I'm teaching geography this semester and also their Bible course, as well as doing some devotions and roles in the morning. With 9-10s, I'm doing the Bible course for all of the Year 9-10s, plus there's 2 electives that I'm running, economics and work studies. Another thing that I'm part of is the Duke of Edinburgh Award. So some of our students, once they turn 14, can be part of this, which involves some volunteering work, some skill development, some physical recreation, and a 2-day, 1-night camp during the year. So we have a number of grade 9-10 students who are involved in that, and it's a great opportunity to develop skills, and they also are awarded with a TCE, Tasmanian Certificate of Education, Year 11 or 12 subject when they have completed all their requirements. So if you want to know a little bit more about that, you can talk to me too. So the other thing I want to tell you about is Canvas. So Canvas is the portal from which our high school students, or the students across school, actually can access their subjects. The only subject that won't be in here for high school is their maths, because they're doing math pathways. So on the login page, you'll see that there's a couple of options. So your child will have a student login. This is where I log in as a staff member also. You can get a login from our principal, David Noble, to be a parent observer. So you would be attached to your child's login account, and you would be able to see what they are doing, what's due for different subjects. Otherwise, you can just ask your child and they can show you from their login. So if I click this one here and I log in, then you will see that I'll go back to my dashboard. So the subjects that I'm teaching each have a little cover icon here. So your child will have one for each of the subjects they're participating in. There are subjects here for the 7-8 homeroom and for the 9-10 homeroom. So if there's general things that they all need to access, their timetables are in there, or if there's announcements, we'll often use those. But there won't be things in there, new things in there every day. We just use those sometimes if there's general files that they need. On the right-hand side, you'll see it says to do. So this is my to-do list of things that I need to do. But in your child's one, there will also be a to-do list with due dates, and this is a really good place to start if they're at home and you're not sure what homework they need to do. That's a really good place to say, open Canvas, show me your to-do list, and you can start looking through there. The other way that you can look at what is due is going into a subject. So if I went into my economics class for grade 9-10, then it says on this one there's nothing for the next week coming up. So that's probably not a great example after all. Everyone's up to date with that one. I think there might be some in the Bible course. So here there's to do, there's a task that they need to do, and there's another quiz coming up that they need to do by the 18th of February. So within a subject, you can look and see what needs to be done. Most of the subjects will have a home page that looks a little bit like this. So this is the Year 7-8 Geography one. Gives you an overview of what's going on for the term and a link to each of the weeks during the term. A connection to what assessment tasks are coming up, and some example ones of what they might look like, depending on the subject and what the teacher's been able to put in there. So each of the subjects will look a little bit different, but they'll generally have the to-do list on the side. So the main things there are the dashboard, where each of the subjects are, and the to-do list on the side. I think that would be the most helpful for you to know about. And again, if you would like to have parent or observer login rights, then you could just contact David Noble and he can set that up. But you can go in with your child's login anyway. So I hope that's helpful. Please email me or call me if you have any questions about Duke of Ed, about things that are happening in the elective programs of grade 9-10 or the Bible course. And all of the teachers are using Canvas, so you can talk to any of us about that. Looking forward to seeing you in post-COVID times. Thank you.
Welcome to Senior High. Come on in. And then we'll start up with great parents. Good afternoon, parents.
Hello, I'm Bernice Riley, and I'm the 9-10 coordinator for high school this year. And these are the other subjects that I teach: 7-8 English, 9-10 English, 9-10 History, 9-10 Food Technology, and 9-10 Drama. Just a brief overview of what we'll be looking at this year. 7-8 English, Term 1, wordsmiths. The students will be writing informative and imaginative texts. Term 2 will be reading an autobiography titled Chinese Cinderella. Term 3, an introduction to Shakespeare, which will look at a few different plays, extracts from them. Term 4, a film unit on The Princess Bride. 9-10 English. This term we're looking at a few TED Talks, and then for the assessment task they'll create their own TED Talk using persuasive techniques. Term 2 will be reading the novel To Kill a Mockingbird. Term 3, Shakespeare's Macbeth. And Term 4, a film study, The Truman Show. 9-10 History, we have 3 subjects for this year, 3 subjects over the 4 terms: the Industrial Revolution, Making a Nation, and World War I, and Year 10, World War II, Modern Conflicts, Rights and Freedoms, Migration Experience. 9-10 Food Technology, Term 1 is Sustainable Food Production, and we'll be growing lettuce and other herbs using hydroponic methods. Term 2, Pass It On, is about cooking for people on a budget, cooking simple meals. Term 3 and 4, Catering and School Function. So hopefully we'll get up to speed and create really good food for the school function. 9-10 Drama, Term 1 Mask and Movement, Term 2 Greek Theatre, Term 3 Melodrama, and Term 4 Transitions and Transformations. My student expectations for the year: respect yourself, your teachers and others, put forth your best effort at all times, be prepared for class each day, come prepared with all materials necessary, Follow directions when given. Pay attention, participate and ask questions. Preserve a positive learning environment. Take responsibility for your actions and complete homework assignments. Now, any homework, is on the dashboard, on the Canvas dashboard. The due dates for assessments are on the Canvas dashboard, and students have plenty of warning about when the assessment tasks are due, and they will be able to complete some of the assignments in class as well as at home. Please don't hesitate to contact me if you have any queries. This is my email, berniceriley@acceduau, and you can always ring the office to get in contact with me as well. So I'm looking forward to a great year and hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Martin Jean. This is my email address, martinjean@acc.edu.au. I teach a few subjects this year. I teach LOT, Chinese language, Mandarin from kindergarten to year 8. It is a privilege to teach, our fantastic students in our school, and my goal this year is to introduce the Chinese language and the culture and provide a new perspective to see the world to our students and help them to enjoy the language learning. And also teach year 7, 8 civics, economics. Basically, this year we are going to learn democracy, the structure of the government, and the economic terms, and basic economic principles, how these principles can be useful when we apply them in our daily life to make wise choices. And the digital technology, this term we are going to learn the knowledge of a network, how data being transferred on internet. And next term we will be going to do food technology. I will teach students how to cook Asian food, pork, rice, vegetables, and a sustainable way of living. And I teach health for year 9 and 10 classes. We are actually doing how physical activities are very important to our health. Thank you for watching this video, and feel free to email me when you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them. Thank you very much.
Fantastic teachers, thank you for that, and hopefully that gave you lots of information about what is happening in classes. I am doing a little bit of teaching this year. I'm teaching some physical education for years 5 to 6. We're focusing on a bit of cricket. There's a fitness regime happening for the year 7 to 10s. 5 and 6 is doing a little bit of touch football, and everyone will be doing swimming across the school in the last couple of weeks. Now, some information that happened over summer. During the break, we had some renovations. The first one, which is pretty exciting, is our stairwell, which if you've been here before, you'll realise has had a little bit of an issue with water seeping in from outside and flowing down the stairs. And although we love a good water feature, we didn't think that was something that we wanted to keep out the school. So we've done some work, and hopefully that has been fixed, and it looks great. It's all been freshened up, so that's exciting. We've also managed to place in the rear of the building a little office space for teachers to work in, which has been already put to good use. Teachers have been going in there and doing their preparation times when the classes are filled up with students, which is the right thing to happen. All right, our weekly wraps. Hopefully you've enjoyed this welcome one. Each fortnight, not each week, but each fortnight, we are intending to put a weekly wrap out to give you more information about what has happened during the week. And our first one will be in a fortnight, and there's a little bit of a focus on the junior high school group. So looking forward to seeing what they do in the next couple of weeks. An update on COVID. As you know, that COVID has affected education a little bit, and I just wanted to fill you in that we have had a couple of cases, as you would be aware. We sent a letter out about that, and that's not a big deal. That is pretty much expected. You'll know that each of the students have been given 2 rapid antigen tests, or RATs as we call them, and feel free to use those. If your child is feeling unwell, please use those. And there's probably a couple of really important things that you need to know, and the first one is this. If your child is unwell, they need to stay at home. So please make sure that you do that, keep them at home, and feel free to do a RAT. If that RAT happens to be positive, please inform the school. We have some obligations to public health to send that information in once we get over a certain number, so please make sure you inform the school of that. Other than that, we are just doing all the normal things. The high school are wearing masks as teachers. We are sanitising. We are following all of the things, the recommendations from public health. And although we expect to get a few cases, as does everywhere, we are pretty confident that, God willing, everything is nice and safe, and He's certainly going to look after us through this. Now, you may see later on in the term a lady named Linda Armstrong. She's going to pop into our school each fortnight on a Thursday, and she's doing some teacher coaching. And we're very excited about that. We want to see our teachers, our students improve, but we also want to see our teachers learning and improving as well. And she's going to run a mentoring program called Good to Great. So if you see Linda around, say hi. In a few weeks, on the 1st of March, Tuesday, we're having incursion. We're going to have a group come along and present electrical safety, and that's called Bright Sparks. So if you hear about that from your students, that's what's going on. Again, that's a good program that we have done before. An important time for you to know about is that on the 16th and the 17th of March, that's a Wednesday and a Thursday night, there will be parent-teacher interviews. Now, whether we do those online or whether we do them face-to-face will depend on what is happening with the COVID situation, but we'll let you know what is happening, whether it is online or face-to-face, and we'll give you more information about that. But the dates should be the same regardless, and as I said, the 16th of March and the 17th of March. Also, coming up near the end of the term, the high school students, many of them are headed off down to the university to do the Science and Engineering Challenge. They have done that before. It's a great time of deep learning and a bit of collaboration with other schools and is well worthwhile. So that is on the 29th of March, and that is a Tuesday also. Looks like Tuesday's the day when things are happening. Finally, in the last couple of weeks, we have our swimming and water safety program. We're running that at Oceana this year, and it's an 8-day program, and we'll give you more information on that as we get a bit closer as well. Well, to finish off, we have a little traditional saying, but I have a special request from Miss Amy Morrison, and she really strongly wanted to have this picture appear on the screen, and if you're not sure why she wanted that, maybe you could ask her, or you may be able to work it out yourself. But for the first time in 2022, I want to finish with saying, that's a wrap.